It's been exactly a year since moving my life, and to be frank with you, it has come with some strife. I moved across to a place in the world where the weather gets so cold, even my eyebrows curled. A lot has happened along the way, but here is a recap of how it's finished at the end of the day. It started off with tears, farewells and an emotional goodbye, and then a long plane flight to the city of Dubai. A quick pit stop at the water park was definitely key in helping make sure that we had a comfortable journey. Touchdown in Toronto and immediately into long sleeves. It was time for the city to be covered in colourful leaves. Even now that everything felt like foreign lands, I still had the chicks eating out the palm of my hand. Into our apartment we began to settle. And quickly we had to build our bed out of metal. The views from our balcony let me look over the city. And when the lights go down, boy does it look pretty. Exploring the city was high on the list, as well as learning to speak English with a bit of a twist. Soon the autumn leaves started to cover the park, so I felt I had to leave a bit of a mark. Next on the list was starting our new company, a bold and daring creative agency. The days got colder sooner than we could know, and next thing we knew, it was starting to snow. As the winds kicked up and the snow started to swirl, it was time for us to see what it felt like to curl. Onto the ice with a rock and a broom. Never thought I'd be sliding on ice in a room. As Christmas started to get closer, the views became that of those on a poster. Further into the country we travelled, and even over frozen lakes we battled. As the festive season came to an end, winter was soon becoming my friend. Nothing like I had ever seen before, but a season that I would soon come to adore. But enough with the holidays as we head back downtown. Even in Toronto, so much snow has fallen down. Now it was time for things to get rocky. It was time to experience real ice hockey. The sound and the speed was truly unreal. I really didn't expect to see the appeal, but nevertheless, soon I was hooked, even though I didn't really know where to look. Next on the list was to see a world wonder. The greatest part was that we could see it from down under. The entire Niagara Falls was truly impressive, despite the -20-degree weather that was rather aggressive. As the winter wears on, the snow piling on the street, it was time to find a place to escape to the heat. The tropical island of the Dominican Republic was our choice, a place to spend a few weeks to relax and rejoice. A day trip to visit where Columbus once sailed left us on an island where we wish we were jailed. Crystal oceans and untouched sand for miles. How could we ever leave these beautiful isles? A quick trip on a boat to try and spot some whales. Lucky for us, we found a couple playful males rolling around and showing off all day. They even said goodbye with a little bit of a spray. As our trip finished and back to the vortex we headed, a frozen Toronto was something we dreaded. Even though the weather was still cold and foggy, we had something to look forward to, a new little doggy. A puppy jumping in the snow. Have you seen something this cute? Her outfit complete with her snazzy yellow boot. A road trip to the capital was next on the list. A quick stop for some pictures. This view couldn't be missed. Once we arrived in Ottawa, it first looked like hell. But after a day in the snow, it was actually rather swell. Now, back at home, as the weather starts to warm, as the grass turns green and the blossoms start to form, people on the streets start to roam and wander, making the most of the sunny days that nobody wants to squander. Soon we are off, traveling once more, this time to watch the fast cars with no door. Montreal is the destination, my first time there. Next year I'll be back, that I can swear. On to Quebec City, as I learn to speak French, and into a bar we go searching for our thirst to quench. strolling around the street of the old town with umbrellas above us, covering like a crown. The city's so old and rich in history. While walking around, you're uncovering a mystery. From the quaint neighborhood and the narrow little streets, to the people in the squares and the soft city beats. I loved Quebec City right from the start, as a city that will always have a place in my heart. Time for the holiday had come to a halt. The Toronto Raptors were the ones at fault. Winning the NBA was as crazy as Trump's tweets, but it sent the whole city to celebrate in the streets. The championship parade had people in the millions. Who even knew Toronto had that many civilians? As the parties faded, summer was soon upon us, and daylight till 11 p.m. was always a plus. Trips to the island became a weekly routine. Sometimes we would even have some poutine. As the nights begin to slowly get dark, what a perfect time for movies in the park. Popcorn and puppies seem perfect to me. The best part about it is that the movies are free. Canada's Wonderland was last on the list. Thought it would be appropriate to finish with a twist. The theme park was nothing that I expected, and leaving with no toys left me dejected. A lot has transpired in the last 365 days, and with this video, I would like to move on from that phase. I'm ready to watch this thing soar. I'm ready for 365 days more.